We're rolling.
Get in here, Princess Bad Star.
I am here.
You are here, Princess Bad Star.
In my lotus position. Okay, I'm gonna lead.
Take us away. Where in the hell are we? I mean, where in the Eden are we? Maybe hell.
No, it's
somebody's hell. Probably all the people that lived below
below the castle.
Below the castle, and worked for the the Illuminati up here. But for them, it's pretty good life.
Yeah, no, So we're in a beautiful castle called Hluboká nad Vltavou. I remember coming here as a little girl and dreaming about being princess, and a lot of like fairy tales and movies being shot here. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I was like, let's put this in the frame because it is truly beautiful castle.
It's gorgeous, and it feels it's quite alive. The land's very well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. They really preserve it. And it's perfect today because there's nobody. It's very quiet. Yeah. So, Making Love podcast episode, and I wanted to ask you. There was like two things alive with me, and literally you were like, no, you lead, and. Basically, I was gonna ask you. I felt like today I felt time. Today I felt time in a big time, like the different times and the crossroads and the. I mean, right now we're like in a place where also time stopped almost. It's preserved, but it's like a time capsule. But then my second more alive thing, which I feel like it's actually the intention for Making Love is to be in the moment, and I'm struggling with this leadership, and I was more like, wow, no, that's actually it's still something in me. And when you tell me like, no, love, you lead, I'm experiencing different emotions. Mm-hmm. And it like brings up a lot of discomfort, but also like I know I'm growing, like growth. There's also like wow, okay, I need to really step in. And then there's moments when I'm like, I'm tired of it. I don't want to be leading. So this is what's really alive for me. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Maybe want to like ask you what if I bring that up, mm-hmm. What does that do to you?
I understand. I definitely understand the fuck you, I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, leadership is hard, and like I think we like. I mean, I've said this to you. I think this month, like nobody ever thinks they're not a leader. Like my 7-year-old daughter thinks we always think that we have leadership figured out, just like we always kind of think we know how to clean our room. But until we engage in the practice of being like, how do I clean this and how do I get everything in the right spot, which for most of us takes years. Like it actually takes. There's an art to each thing that we think is simple to learn. And leadership, to me, is, I think all things can come back to some baseline stuff. And I mean, I call it leadership, but to me, it is like the art of being human. It's the art of taking responsibility and essentially being accountable. It's beautiful that you bring these two things together, because being accountable to time. And I think our culture, and just maybe we as humans, it's really easy for us to want to have our way and to essentially abdicate responsibility, but then tell ourselves that we have done a great job. And that's what most leaders, most people who think that they're leaders are doing. They're sort of like, and then the ones that are actually really good leaders, and you can be an evil leader or a leader for the benefit of all. It's not about the end result. It's just about claiming responsibility for what happens. And that's why in battle, let's say, you're like the general, those 100,000 will die, but we'll get the hill or whatever, like there's something, and the general has those lives on him or her. And so there's just I did that, and I live with the decision, and it's what I pray to, and it's what I believe in. And it is especially tiring to learn it, to like engage in like, and so part of what, I mean, you and I are doing so many different things. There's the relationship, and certainly in life, I've found that this is maybe one of the things that I'm exhausting about in my relationships. I'm sort of just asking the people that I am very close to and that I trust to be responsible for what they're wanting of me, because I tend to be one that fills in a lot of gaps and likes to. I've studied the art of leadership. That doesn't mean I'm good at it, but I've told other people how to do it or gotten paid for this. And I'm still learning how to do it. And then we're doing work. And so I think that you're just in this time when you're with me of being sort of forced with like, choose where you walk. Look at what we're going to do. Decide what we eat. Also decide when we're going to start a podcast and how we're going to film and all. So and a lot of where that ends up leading to is when we have other people that we're working with. If we haven't done that work and we're in a position of power, which is where a lot of people find themselves with money and a lot of things, then we're essentially taking responsibility for everything good that happens and making a little story in our head where it wasn't our fault for everything that we don't like. And so that is how a lot of companies are run, and how a lot of organizations, how a lot of families are run, how a lot of our world is run, is it's so easy for us to be responsible for when everybody's happy, and really hard for us to be like, oof, this isn't going so well. Like over here, the children are starving. Is that my fault too? I mean, it's perfect up here. Like if this was a kingdom, let's say, it's like how far out to the edges of the kingdom and how far out are you able to hold? Like you're responsible for all of it, not just the people in the court that are having a great time and have pretty dresses on. Like what are the downstream effects? And so that's what the strength of bringing in leadership. It's a long way of saying that, but maybe it's a big topic, and so I'll give it back and like let you decide where you want to go. Yeah. And it's a big topic, and it's one I'm passionate about. I know. And so like I can feel that I'm a bit all over the place. Yeah, no, but it is a big topic, and for me, so because you just said so much, but I think I want to bring it more to the personal and. So first, like I hear you saying leadership or being a leader is basically claiming responsibility or claiming it's a place of power where you take a decision and somebody else is following your lead, right? Like somebody else, and you're responsible for them. Now my question would be, so I'm thinking, I'm like feeling, are we all leaders? Are we all born leaders? Or maybe some of us actually don't like to lead and just likes to follow. And so I'm touching that. And there's also, I think, a combination of the masculine and the feminine, which definitely I'm also feeling the roles and sort of like the conditioning of, like in the culture of Eastern Europe,
there's certain things where it's almost like the woman is just used to not lead because it's the man who drives and it's the man who decides where we're gonna go eat and blah blah blah. But so first I would just like be curious about, are we all meant to lead? Is that our nature to be a leader? And then there I would like go into my personal struggle, that is like, I always thought I'm a leader, but when I'm next to you, or when I'm next to somebody who I maybe give a little bit, give up my power away, maybe there's a bit of like, and I do believe it is really mostly, if it's somebody who I either like really respect or I care about, and it's the masculine as the partner, like or my parents, like I would be hoping I can, but then that's not at all the reality. But and then there's and then when I am asked to lead between me and you, there's often this feeling of like, whoa, I don't like this responsibility for your experience. I'm like, oof, and suddenly I feel like, no, like it just feels heavy, because I'm like, if I don't choose the right place to go and he's gonna not have a great time, and that's my inner dialogue.
Great. I mean, there's a few pieces there. One, I'll just say, I'm sure if we take a moment, I'm here and I'm having the time that I'm having. Is it your reflection that I've had a good or a bad time based on what we do?
Based on what we do?
Like whether we eat the right thing or go to the right place.
I think it affects us, but I think it's more the attitude we go into.
It's frequency.
Yeah.
So frequency is all I care about. I don't actually care the result of what we're doing that much. And so then I'm going to try and be quick, but there's a couple pieces. Two, like there's different places to lead from. So part of what I'm asking of you is to just be like accountable. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Explicit in your leadership, because you are an implicit, clear leader. Like, and that is another way of saying like you're actually quite adept at getting what you want. You just do it subconsciously, and by like letting other people go, and then getting what the outcome that you intended to get. So like, and not even having to pay attention to the fact that that's what you were doing the whole time. So that's the way that the feminine in Czech learned to lead. It's to abdicate all responsibility, let the man make the decision so that he has to go out and own it, and they're behind the scenes doing, and that is another way of saying like that's the way that the disintegrated light feminine works with the power that she has in the way that she has to keep herself and her family safe. And then maybe to just like that's what the evil stepmother in the fairy tales does too. So like there's a lot of it's manipulated. So there's a lot of different ways that can look, but you're good at getting what you want. And so you're not just like, I'm just like, you're actually quite strong in that, in your life and in the way things go, and you claim responsibility when things happen. I see that in you, and I don't think we'd be together. And so you already are leading. So a lot of what we're doing is me just being like, hey, don't have decided what we're already going to do and then put it on me at the last minute. Like, see it through. Claim the place. Like, will we go up to the tower? Like, just hold the whole frequency all the way through so that you can own however the thing goes, and then we can learn. So that's one. It's not like I'm a leader or I'm not. And then the next question is, I'm certainly not going to be the one to decide what fate decides for every human. So your question is like, it's a good question. Were we all born leaders? I think we all can touch it. And will we all? Absolutely not. Is it super heavy and hard to actually do it, yeah. I would say that there's definitely a path of, in my experience and belief, of everybody that actually truly wants to be a leader, where they get there and they're like, oh no, this is it. Maybe if they're actually serving the betterment of all, and they're not just trying to get, if they're like, I'm gonna lead to get rich and get everything for me, well then they'll sort of, they can become good at that, and their mind and their energy can become poisoned. But if, let's say, somebody's like generally has the good of all in their heart, there's a point on the path of leadership where they're like, oh God, I didn't want this. This is really hard. And you can't put it down at that point. So leadership is lonely. You're the leader. You're like the one responsible, and generally it's lonely, and people don't see you. They don't see what you're doing. Because if you're doing it in a good way, you're doing it, and they don't know that you're doing it. Like the good queen, everything that's downstream, people are just like, wow, this feels really good to live here in this land. It's fair, and like I have opportunity, and my kids are happy, and we're all, like, so, and that's all because somebody is holding that, and they don't know that it's happening. And so the leader is sort of like, oof, there's a lot that I'm doing, and there's a lot that I'm holding, and most of the people that it's affecting don't know about me. And that's right there where a lot of the...
I think that's a good leadership.
It's a good leader. It's a lot of where the power issue comes. People claim something and they want it, but when they touch it, they're like, but I did that. And so that's like one of the steps in, oh, you got some power and now you want to be recognized for it.
Right.
So that's, I think all of us have the opportunity to become leaders. I would say if we are going to build the world that is alive in our hearts right now, the world that we are dreaming together in unison for generations beyond us, that will be somewhat more beautiful and have something possible that we can't get. If we're going to build that world, then a fair amount of us will claim leadership. It doesn't have to be the whole population, but it's probably like, I would guess it's like 10% of the population. Like if 10% of the population really picked it up, but right now it's like less than 1. We give away our power so readily, and to basically anybody. We're trained at birth, we're trained all the way through, and so it's actually like all of us have just some learning to do around becoming that thing, and the learning is uncomfortable. When you get to the end of it, you're like, oof, it's heavy. And I think it's why when you see a true like elder, not age, like if you see somebody who's 40 and they're smiling at you with someone who's been through life, that you can feel it, and you're like, whew. And it's that they're like, there's both something lonely and they're holding something, and that's why in traditional ways they can like teach culture. So I think like that true elder would be a leader. They're a leader of tribe, of kids, of family, and we don't have so much of that.
Right. So what I'm hearing is maybe also there is a bit of imagination involved into like what actually a leader is. I'm seeing, or I think it is. I think there's a difference between like putting yourself on a pedestal and being like, whoa, I'm a leader of or whatever, like I'm gonna be now directing you, and there's a power game.
It's really easy to believe we're a leader. That's the thing. Like if you go to college, you're definitely a leader. Like if you do if you're rich, you're a leader. Like everybody believes that they're a leader. Everybody that has a child thinks that they're a great parent.
Yeah.
until their kids grow up and tell them they're not. But
yeah. And so I'm
Sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
You were going.
So I'm just trying to like touch it for myself, because there is so I'm gonna bring it to me, because I can only really speak about me with like certainty. Is as a kid, I used to somehow become a leader. It was not like, hey, come and like I wasn't trying to be at the forefront and be telling people what to do. But somehow I would sort of, when you play games, or I was in art school, so suddenly it's like, who is gonna make this? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna make this. And then I was comfortable. People were literally drawn to me because they were like, oh, she's holding something, and I didn't know what I was holding, but she's holding something that we are drawn to, and she can like hold space. So I think and they felt with me like themselves. So I think also like a true leadership is just basically being in your center, being in your power, and then you naturally emanate that. And then I think there's also like, so I'm also playing with the idea, and we've talked a lot about it, is I would love to dream a world where we are all leaders, where there is not like, and we can like pass it to each other. So it's also, I'm aware it's not possible to create something and everybody has an opinion and everybody is gonna be like, that's not possible. We would not be able.
We've tried that.
To do anything
in the 60s and earlier and beyond, but that's a lot of the project of the 60s and like the hippie movement was a lot of like really trying. Everybody has a voice, and you see that today in woke culture and in like feminism and like in a lot of places where there's and so I think if you give humans enough time to talk, they'll talk until everybody dies. Like, and that's a lot of what we're doing. Like, there's got to be movement, and so we live in a time and a place right now where, like, stop and hear me. And there's not much that's going to happen if we just feel like we should take up each other's time with words, and then everybody has to stop and listen to me and pause, and we can do that literally endlessly. We'll never figure it all out. So we have to move towards something, and that's where leadership comes in. The leader is like, everybody shut up and start moving. We'll talk along the way, but there's always some movement. So in like organizations, this is emergent structure. Sorry to interrupt again.
It's okay. I really wanted to get somewhere, but it's fine. I know you're passionate about it.
No, take it back. This is we're learning. This is making love. I'm like,
you're
I'm
passionate and you're very. But so anyway, I just want to retrace
I'm
my.
passionate. I also interrupt a lot.
Yeah, you do.
I just need to get better at listening.
Yeah. So I was trying to get to the vision that I'm holding, which is. I dream there is a way where we're all leaders, but then we intuitively sense, it's not from the ego, but it's from what makes sense in the moment, because we're all really good at something. And I'm not good at maybe choosing a tour in a castle. So in that moment would be maybe not me who decides to go on like this is an example. But so I'm really feeling that, and I'm feeling the leader in me, and I always felt it in a way that actually I knew already subconsciously how much responsibility it takes to be in the position of power, because if people are like, hey, like tell us what to do or lead us somewhere, suddenly if you do it well, and if you're not like, wow, I'm the best, like I'm the bad star, if it doesn't go into your ego, you're like, oh wow, okay, I'm feeling responsibility now. People are actually giving themselves to me, and like I need to be careful here, like I need to take care, and I'm not just deciding for myself. And so I was always touching this, and it's really beautiful because in the dance world there's a lot of caste, there's a lot of like, she's the first dancer, and so there's leaderships already, like, and then you kind of are casted there. But I was always very sort of like on the outside, but somehow like things were like drawn to me naturally, and then I was like suddenly sitting in front of a director, and the dancers were like, you gotta talk to him. And then I was like claiming the rights for the female dancers, but I didn't want to be there. I was just naturally put there, and then I was like suddenly fighting for the rights of the female dancers in the company. And so, and what I'm feeling is in between me and you and us is this being used to give away my power, maybe especially in the relationships. Yeah. And then with you, the many times, it's beautiful. I'm so grateful that you like, you know, there's this situation when you're like, hey, you choose. And then I'm like put on the spotlight and I'm like, man, like usually this feels really okay, but like something with you, you know, and being in this relationship is, I'm like, whoa, okay. So I think there's been a lot in check here where, you know, you ask me very specifically, it's like, hey, you lead. And then I was faced with, wow, it's not as easy for me at times. And I'm grateful for these challenges. And yeah, so I'm really grateful, and I'm also realizing I'm also becoming aware of things that I'm not good at, and maybe like in the future I would be like, no, love, like I'm not good at this. Don't ask me to lead. But I think there's a learning. There's like, I need to actually first like even give myself a try and be like, okay, I'm gonna like pick the day and make the tour, and until I become aware of like, no, maybe somebody else is better in this. Maybe it's not me, or maybe it's not you. Maybe it's somebody completely else. Let's find somebody else for that. And yeah.
I'll keep it just about us in the lovemaking and in the relationship. Like to be very simple. I mean, most of what I'm telling you most of the time is I want less words. I want more. Like I love conversation that's authentic, and I loathe conversation that's not. And there's not so much space for talking. So like, and I quite like being quiet. I love doing this, and I can do this for an entire day with you. But when you're like, there are 3 tours, and we could go here or here or here, like, and basically what I'm good at in any group setting is recognizing when that's happening and making a decision as quick as possible so that I can save everybody the time of having to be in a mental conversation. So I'm good at moving. It means that I'm constantly in the small talk. And it's people then, all they have to do is just give me a problem, and it's like a problem without a solution, and I'll move to the solution. Essentially, I don't want to do that. So what I think we can do most places is just allow our feet to lead us until there's a decision to make. Like, we don't need to talk about every little thing. But if you're like, should we get coffee or should we do this? And should I go here or here? Now I'm just like,
you know, we're like in.
So you've pulled me someplace. So what I'm doing is I'm just being like, you're having an internal dialogue that you're externalizing and wanting me to solve. I don't want to be in your internal dialogue. It's just leading you. And that is hard, actually. It's easy. You can do it by yourself. But now when you're with another person, it becomes a whole different thing because it sounds like you're worried about my experience. So what you have to do is trust. This man loves me.
And you're gonna
He's pretty happy anywhere. He's just going to come wherever I go. Mostly the only thing he cares about is authenticity, or so he says. And just having space. And he'll solve any problem really fast, but he doesn't want to create a pattern, that's mostly what I'm doing. I'm just I'm de-patterning us so that I don't end in the same groove that you've lived with the masculine, which is, hey, I'll just say some words and then you'll decide where we go. But like, that's exhausting for me. I don't like being in that kind of relationship. I don't want to be in that relationship with anybody, especially with the one who I'm like really giving my time and energy to. Like, I want consciousness or paying attention elsewhere. Like, if you're unconscious, that's okay. Like, I don't ask everybody to be conscious all the time. But when they're saying words to me, I kind of want those words to be conscious. And so that's it. If you're like, I don't know what we need to do, I haven't given it any thought. And so I'm giving it back to you because you actually already have it. You're leading us. And so that's the last way to be like, it's recognizing, like, one of the big things, let's say we're in an emergent team and we are working with 15 of us, and all of us know we're leaders, and all of us then love following each other. Like, you can already, we all know what we're doing together. we're all great leaders, and we love just being like, wow, I want to, if you have it, well, you have to know when you have it. You have to know when you're being followed. And you have to see it all the way through. And you're like, I'm bringing us to this place. I've got it. I'm not going to ask anybody to fix it. Like, I'm going to tell us where to go each time. And that's a huge piece when it comes back to time. We're just knowing, like, when you're in my time and I have you, I'm going to make sure that you're comfortable, or I'm going to be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I need help. Like, that's what you'll get from me. Like, I brought us here and I'm a bit lost. Can you come and help me? Does that make sense?
That makes sense. And I'm hearing you and I agree with you. And then there's moments when I'm just trying to understand, like, myself. And I think what comes to me is definitely there's a tendency of externalizing this. When I'm with you, it's almost like maybe it's a program that tells me to be polite, make sure, like, externalize your decisions, because I feel like inside of me there is a program that tells me, like, make sure people are okay all the time. Like, ask all the time. Don't, like, just go, but, like, and I don't know where it started. I almost
love, that's what we've been with.
Probably, yeah. And so there's this, like, always making sure that no, everybody's fine, everybody's good. So there's this, like, worry, I guess, and so it's actually coming from a really good place, but it's not conscious. And then I'm realizing it with my mom when I'm, like, with her. I'm like, hey mom, let's go there and there. And then when it's just two of us, it's usually gonna be me then, like, kind of leading. And when I would ask her to be like, hey mom, like, I would just basically stop talking, or even the conversation, right? Like, even to go and talk about something that is a little bit not a small talk, she would not lead us there. So if I really want to go there, I have to lead us there. And also when we went with her on a trip, and there was the three of us, and there was this moment when we were like, there's many trails, and I actually somehow thought she knew. And then I was in the situation when I was like, Mom, where are we going? And then, she was talking to me in Czech, and it was so indecisive. And then I felt responsible for you. But then my tendency would be, like, asking you, like, hey. And then I saw this, like, what it did to me, and how, again, like, how I don't have the feminine I don't have the example of the leadership in the feminine. Let's say it maybe like that.
I'm gonna come in here because it's beautiful. Like, so that was frequency. We got to a place, you felt an old pattern with your mom. Then you started to be like, you told me the problem. Mm-hmm. You just told me some stuff. I'm not talking to your mom. And I just was like, okay. And we spent the next 4 hours in the most awkward energy in the woods with nobody making a decision. And me clear, and basically both of you sort of, and it was a game. So we were
making weird decisions, but
nobody was. The whole game was, let me see, because I could feel you. I know what you're doing. Let me just, like, walk slowly, amble off. So, like, let me try and get somebody else to choose the path. And then I was just like, I'm not going to play this game. So I'm going to go sit down over here, because this is an ancestral journey between mother and daughter, but I'm in the middle, and I'm sort of the reason they're not coming to it. But I'm not going to do the thing that I could do, which is just walk and choose, though I did a few times to get us where we're going. And then your mom, she was, like, just maybe unconscious in that. But so I think what I'm hearing, I mean, here's what I'll say. In my life, I've always been the one to choose too. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just saying that's not, and I know that's how it's going to be with my family. And they'll sort of believe that there's a story, but then I'll be the one to choose. When it's hard, I choose, basically. When anything is broken, I'll make sure we get through it. That's what I do, and the rest of the time I'll stay back, because that's the moment where things break. I'm just saying I'm not willing to do that in a couple's dynamic. Like, I'm basically just being like, that's not the pattern that I want to bring into us. So I'm not willing. I'm not willing to have because this is a different type of relationship for me. And so then there's just a need to be like, hey, this thing needs to be tended. And so I can hear you. This comes back to your original question. You are a leader. You were born a leader. And maybe there's something, people are looking to you for leadership. And you know how to do it, and you can do it. And it's heavy. And you don't always want to have to do it. And maybe one thing you like to do is give it away in a couple's dynamic. Or not claim it.
No, I mean, no. Let's not make an extreme. Like, no,
Okay.
That's not me. You know that.
It's not you.
I mean, there's
the...
many things I lead on. There's just more like.
Can I?
Yeah.
So let me, because you asked about time, and for this, we've been in Czech for a month. We're leaving. We're parting ways tomorrow, for a month.
Not tomorrow, on Thursday.
That whole time has been us doing one thing, and it's been you visiting the one that came to these castles and wanted to be a princess. And it's also that there's an ancestral pattern that you've been working with your maternal line. And so it's not that you do that in relationships, it's that part
It's very
of
alive.
you, and that part of you does not lead. That part of you gives power away to the masculine. That's been the main thing. That's not you. I've not at any point thought that that's you, but I have been like, well, I'm working with this part of you that we can name a lot of different things most of the time. And for you to be conscious of her or of that, like, you have to choose consciousness, and you have to be like, oh, she's a part of me, and I'm not gonna like go into that so often or let me understand. So you've just been having that kind of conversation, and I've been here doing my best to be and hold space, but also not to play in her game. I'm not gonna be the prince. I'm not gonna be that. You don't want me to be that. Like, all the other parts of you don't want me to be that. It's just her that does, and she plays games well, and she gets her needs met well. So every time she shows up, I'm like, I tip my hat to her, and I'm just like, hey, no, like, I'm just gonna be here, but I'm not gonna come into that game, because that wouldn't be good for us. So I'm holding us, and while we work through this, that's what I've been doing my best at. And then I have my own messy parts that have come to play at those times, but I think in terms of time, it's not that you're doing one thing. It's just that it's been a big piece of ancestral work that you've been doing with your grandma and your mom and that part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really know what to say now. Yeah, definitely. I think it's like reclaiming a power, and then there's moments when I'm becoming aware. There's moments when it's really tiring. But I think it's because of this work, and it's like very specific to this time in Czech, and like part of me is like, oof. I have moments when I'm like, it's a lot of, again, like, I'm so grateful for the learning. I've been the leading in my family, and I felt really lonely, and maybe that's why I'm looking for a strong masculine that can lead me. So I don't have to be always in my masculine, and I can like just be like woo and flowing and just be, because I actually truly, when I'm the happiest is when I don't lead. It's when I'm in my feminine, when I'm in my creative, and that's not decision making. That's not we go there, we do this. It's actually being led. So I think I'm desiring that again, but I'm also realizing that in some ways maybe I gave it away, this strong masculine in my past relationship, which was needed, but I've been always in my masculine, and it's been very lonely and very tiring in my entire life. being more like, definitely like the woman who kind of puts her pants on and just like execute. And so I'm glad to be like now touching this health, like sort of rebuilding the masculine within me with you. And I'm also touching this moment when I'm like, and I'm ready to be led because it is becoming too much. I'm not feeling in my natural. But again, I feel like we're just in the moment and time when this is needed. And not that I think I feel it. And there's something in me which wants to be like, oh, I want to like flow around, be in my feminine and be just like, woohoo!
So
woohoo.
can I ask a
Tell
question
me what
then?
to do and where to go for a little bit.
It's beautiful. And is that what you're going to be doing once we're not together?
So I'm actually going to hang out with sisters, and I feel like I need that. I really feel like I need some feminine because, and yes, I will not be this time in Spain. I'm gonna hold my. I mean, I'm hosting things, so again, I will be leading. I'm holding space. I'm a space holder, and whenever I can, I will be in my feminine, and I will be like not knowing what I'm doing and not taking decisions and not saying we have to go there, and I will probably just like improvise most of the time.
I mean, so what this brings up in me is just and we've touched this a lot about what I know I bring to the people that I love, and there's some level of, I mean, I've been in 4 loving relationships, and what I know is there's a constant dialogue that I've lived with where my partner's attempting to get me to do exactly what you're talking about so they can be that. And I've essentially spent all of my relationships doing that and recognizing that I lost myself in it. And so then I left relationship because I'm just like, I'm then following and I'm going and I'm like picking up pieces and I'm holding the edges, but I'm looking at them constantly, essentially. I'm like,
but wait, are you talking like you're the leader, or I'm not?
Yeah, like I'm holding space and they're being the feminine, and I'm making sure all the decisions are made and there's space for that to happen. What I have then realized is I don't like doing that much.
I think that's also not.
But so what I like doing is, to some degree, showing up in the moment, and I'm like, I mean, it's what we've talked about. I realize that I'm a better friend than what people think partners are meant to be. I'm like, well, I'm a great friend. I'm not so good at being the lover that women think that they want. I'm good at being me, but man, when they ask me to be what they want them, and then I'm not very good at that. Although I am quite good at pretending. But if I'm just me, then I'm like, I have to choose me or them and their story. But I can just leave, and then they usually get what they want. So we're touching something where I'm gonna grow, and we're gonna grow, and you recognizing that part of what I bring to you is hard. It's like I'm looking at us, and there's something that I'm doing. I may like release that, but that could just be my growth. But I need to be able to go through that in whatever phase that I need to. And that means that you need to take space. And if you need a man that also provides something else, then you need to like not try and make me that man, but try and love me and get that at times. Does that make sense? Because if you're attempting to get all of your needs met from me, then it becomes quite exhausting. And so there's that's I guess what I'm saying. Maybe spend the next month seeing if that part of you gets nourished. And
it's beautiful because I feel we're talking about different things. You suddenly are thinking that if I ask you to I'm be not leading, then I want you to
love. I'm
meeting my needs.
In a moment, we're making love. Yeah. So I'm telling you what came up in me. I'm not talking about it's a connected thing, because I can feel the part of you that just is like, just do it so that I can be that. And I'm just like, that's not fun for me.
No, at
I don't
times.
want to, but I would rather be like, if you need that, go elsewhere. So there's a lot of other conversations around how much time do we spend together? When you need that, and so, does that make sense?
No, it feels like a different topic, but I'm trying to, yeah. What I in lovemaking, if we bring it to lovemaking.
Yes, let's bring it to making love.
I don't want to be leading all the time. I don't want to be leading in a lovemaking. It's a dance. I want a partner to lead. I want to be be leading. So that's what I'm talking about. And I think in Czech it's been a lot of you lead, you lead, you lead. And I think there was a purpose for it. And
because we're in your story. Like when we're in
my story?
We're in your story in Czech. We're in, like, I'm here for you. I'm here because in most of the times you needed me here. I'm helping you. You wanted me here. I'm here for us also. I'm not here for me.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying, I think for this time,
Yes.
this is my process. I'm sharing my process, and now I'm happy to move out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it doesn't mean I'm telling you you need to be somebody or something, and you need to meet my needs. That's like a whole other, I just didn't understand how does that, like the dance. Like again, like I like to think about the dance, and so there's moments when I'm leading and I'm doing pirouettes and I'm like bending and I'm doing this and you're catching me because I'm leading us to the corner of the room. And then there's moments when I'm just a piece of like a fabric and you're the center and you're like weaving me.
And I think if that's beautiful, let me just bring in this other part at the end of our podcast, because it's an important part, because I've brought it in from the beginning of our relationship. I don't want to be all of those different dance partners. I don't want to be the one that you pair with. I don't want to learn all of those different roles. I want to get really good at doing the one that I do. And a lot of that time is spent. And so that's important. That there are, now what that means in terms of...
Do you want to be leading in a dance?
No, I want to be leading, but in the dance... There's sometimes I want to be soft. Sometimes I want to be doing this. Sometimes I don't want to spend my time being a dance partner for anybody. A lot of men, that is what they want to do. They want to spend that time. So mostly that is not what I choose to do in relationship. I am here choosing to honor you and love you and give you what I am and have to give. I don't want to be here to be anything other than that. And there's something in that. You want something that I'm not. Also.
I will sit with it. This is, we've talked about it, so this is not new, but I just don't see how this, I feel like it's something else. And I know that's something else because we've talked about it a lot. And I don't see how does that weave with what I was exploring, the leadership. So, and maybe there is some messiness in me that is it's beautiful.
In this moment, I'm feeling I've gotten in this podcast, in this conversation, probably you've said 6 times, that's not it. That's not what I said. And to me, I am not saying I have it. To me, lovemaking is help me find it. And so these topics are uncomfortable. I'm doing my best to just talk about what's coming up. And in a state of curiosity, you might find where it does fit or lead me back. But this constant no, that's not it, and this is okay. Then what do you want me to say? Because it seems like you're looking for me to say something other, as opposed to exploring with me the topic that you're bringing up. Or do you want me to just listen to you?
No, I was lost because suddenly I felt we were talking about something else. So
because love, we're talking about leadership and your femininity and your masculine, like, and we're talking about big topics. So don't just close each time some part of it you don't like or don't understand, and then bring it back to what you were sure it was. Like I'm attempting to find it with you, and that has felt not available a few different times when I've gone somewhere, and kind of from the beginning. Like, so.
From the beginning. Interesting. So I thought I'm like leading us. So I was really embodying my leadership, and the topic was leading.
So tell me where we should go.
No, I think this is beautiful. I think this is exactly where I'm also like struggling. It's like maybe I have like maybe there's something in me that's like stubborn and just sees like one thing. And then,
can I put it this way? Can I say this?
Yeah.
I don't want you to be anything other than you are. I don't want you to act any other way than you're acting. I don't want you to do any other thing that you're doing. I am communicating and trying to like show you things and do things. Do you want me to act or be anything other than how I'm acting or being?
No.
Okay. That doesn't feel true to me all the time. Most of the time in Czech, it's felt like you're wanting me to do or be or act a certain way to make you feel a certain way. And in this, like you're tired of leadership, like that makes sense. That's something that we can hold together. That doesn't mean there's an expectation necessarily that I will do something or should. And I think that if you can hold, there's a part of you that's like, oh, I can't, so you should, and then I won't have, and there's something in there that I'm just asking that you can maybe just hold. And if I'm wrong, then let's talk about that. Let's talk about how that's my projection. Because that could be something that I'm just like putting on you, but I'm telling you that that's what I feel, that there's a regular way that you would love it if I were acting. And you're hoping that I act that way, and then things will feel like this.
I don't know.
Yeah, like, and just maybe feeling into that, and just know that, like, yeah, we can go into that, what you would like that part, that version of me to act like, and what that would do for you, and then we can come back to, but yeah, that's how it feels. And it's not all of you, but it does feel like there's, as we've been here, and it's been there throughout our relationship, there's a part of you that is waiting for me to be something. There's like a for us, like as soon as we get here, then it'll feel like this, and then I'll be able to. And so there's something that we're moving to.
Yeah, maybe there's some mirroring in like I have at times. I mean, I'm aware that I'm aware that there's definitely moments when there's a expectation that I am not even aware of, and then I'm learning about them. I'm like, oh, this is what I was expecting, and I'm learning how to love without conditions and without expectations. And I think big part of being in a relationship, we enter with a lot of expectations, which most of the time we don't even know we have. And I've been releasing them so much since I'm with you. And so it hurts me when you say that, because I'm like, whoa, I've released so much expectation. And I can just feel the personal coming in, being like, no, don't be hurt. Like maybe, yeah, this is how he feels, and this is. I could see maybe there is a way that I'm like feeling that the topic goes somewhere else, and then I'm expecting us to like, so I'm not like open to just change the topic, and so I can see my stubbornness, like I can see maybe the inflexibility, or like maybe this part which is like, I have to eat, let me. So there's a confusion. I feel confused right now.
Me too.
And yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think if we took apart everything that we thought we were doing or decided we were doing, and we were just friends who cared so deeply about each other's well-being, like it's pretty simple how we would show up for each other. We'd be like, who are you? I hope that everything goes the best that it could go for you. Like, that's how we would feel. Like, I hope that you are everything that you can be. So if it's anything other than that, then if it's anything other than like, who are you? I hope that you're everything that makes you feel good in the world about you. Anything other than that is some claiming. And it's in that claiming that we're calling what a couple is, and I'm maybe saying that like I'm open to some of that claiming. I'm here for it. But there's a lot that's
May I ask you, where am I claiming right now? Or?
I'm more just saying it's not about I don't know where, but what I don't feel is that you're spending most of the time just wanting to know me and wanting me to be me. I think in the big, that is absolutely what I feel. In the small, at least while we've been here in Czech, I'm feeling there's a lot of times like that you're just hoping that I'll be something that'll fit whatever you're feeling, and that will make that sort of like, and there's a lot of like, and that's, and then as we're coming into these conversations, yeah, I mean, we're off topic, so I think I mean, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I'm one. I want to claim responsibility for a lot of the off-topicness. Like, I don't know what I did, but I know I did. I know I haven't held it. I don't know what I was holding. Yeah, so I don't know how I could have done better, except probably listened more and let you guide more. And so I'm learning my way in that. And it's funny that we're having a conversation about leadership, because there's a way where I think I need to be a better follower, and like, if not, then I'm kind of trying to find it. And so that's maybe like in the leadership piece what it feels like if we're leaderless, or I'm knowing that I'm leading, like, and I'm feeling like I have to. And so let's both allow you to be a follower, to let your femininity flow, and also you to lead me, so that the things that can be good and I can follow, and claim it, and let me like hold to something.
Yeah.
And that's not, I feel lost a lot of the time, most of the time, if I'm not leading. And I don't want to be in that position all the time in us. I feel like we are somewhat lost if I'm not holding that mantle.
I hear you. I am definitely learning so much. Like I said at some point, I was like, I'm so grateful because I'm learning that I give away this strong masculine in me, and there was like, and that have difficulty to lead at times, and so this is amazing that you're like making me to choose, because then I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm responsible. I have to claim. There's this piece with claiming the clarity. And I definitely don't want us to be. I want us to dance, balance. Like
Yeah,
that's
I
what I
don't
was
want
trying
to follow you from a, sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
from a mental place. I just want you to be walking.
Yeah.
And not to bring us to the mental.
Yes.
Essentially, to just be like, all
And I
fall
can see
in.
this is like my grandma and my mom, and like there's a lot of like this externalizing.
It's externalizing. The flowers are yellow. The pond is good. This is that. It's bad. It's good. It's evil. It's like everything has a place, and it's constant when there's silence. And then that's where, and I'm just like, shh, we'll be where we need to be if you don't say anything. Like, we're following you.
Yeah.
And when we are not, I'll lead. Like, but it's
just,
this.
Yeah, and may I just, maybe because what I'm feeling here is some emotions, because I feel like we've been doing this beautiful work for 1 month, and I feel like I'm in a really good place, and we've done it. And so I don't want to feel now that we didn't, suddenly, like, as we're like filming, and I'm like, whoa, okay, I was just wanted to bring this topic because it's been a topic for me, and yeah, I don't know why I suddenly feel the need to defend or be like, hey, like, also I think I am actually leading a lot, and
I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You have been, and you've been leading so much, and it's uncomfortable also for me to follow, I will say, especially to follow the feminine. That's been big work for me.
And I think what happened while we were talking, you went somewhere else, and I recognized I was like shutting. I just wasn't curious enough. And I think what you touched there with this, like, hey, sometimes I feel you are not curious about who I am, and you just have an idea that you want me to fill in. I'm like, I could see it in that moment, because it is true that I can have this tendency of like narrowing, and then there's also this like personal or whatever. I'm like, and if it's a Capricorn thing too, and so suddenly like I'm like, oh no, he's not doing the thing that I wanted us to do something. And then I think in those moments you don't feel hurt. Actually, and you don't feel like you are allowed to be you.
I feel manipulated. And what if I just feel manipulated. It's that simple. And what I want is truth. And I can take it so well. Or like leadership. So like beautiful leadership is just like, oh, that's lovely, and then I'll take it over here, and all of a sudden we're somewhere else, and I don't know what happened. Or it's like, hey, you're off topic. We need to get back to where we were.
It's amazing. So I'm learning that I'm still also not good at leadership, because I think in the leadership there's so many ways of like, I think there's also like sometimes people take you somewhere and you're not like, no, let's go, let's go this way. You're kind of like, okay, show me, and then you kind of bring them with you. Or I think there's so many ways.
Yes. I feel your leadership. I mean, I feel it all the time. It's done in truth, and it's done with a smile, and it's done through like, you're like, yes. I mean, it's just like I feel it in myself. I see it in others. It's like a yes and leadership. It's like, yes, that is yes. And then somehow we are somewhere else, and it's like we walked through beauty to more beauty. It's not like, and I can feel what that feels like in our external world and in our conversation when you're trying to get something, but you're not saying it directly. And so then my ask is, when you're trying to get something, essentially you're already in your head, just say the thing and save us a lot of energy and time. And I can absolutely hold that. I love and honor that. Like, I'm feeling this, we need to go back to that place. And then I'm like, oh, let me join you in the pretty garden.
Amazing.
Leadership. That's a wrap.
That was amazing. But that's beautiful. I'm like, we brought it back we came back.
That's it. That's your leadership.
We came back. That's that reminds me my retreat, and people were like, this is kind of leaderless, but there's like a leadership and things are happening, but actually some people were like, hey, like, are you like you should set the container. I'm like, no, the container is freedom. But then I could see the moments when I'm not good, like when there's like, no, this is not part of the free, like this doesn't help the freedom. This is like making too much chaos. And so.
Can I bring a 1 minute thing in at the end,
Yes.
just with that, and it can be cut out?
Yes.
It's this way where I would say when we're working with the mystery, and this feels more like the feminine, like the earth, or maybe it's like the earth, the planet earth, is asking for us to claim leadership with her. Like the mystery wants somebody to talk to, and it needs to be like, hey, like we're praying, we're like, I want this, and then it wants to be like, I told you this. And there's a way where I feel like the leadership is a lot of what we're being called to when we are answering the call of nature. And maybe then I'll even say the human journey in the larger scale framework of what's happening here, and our ability to work with consciousness and to feel matter and to work with the scientific and to also work with the spiritual. There's a way where like we're kind of here to be leaders, like we're kind of here to make decisions. Like that might be, a lot of times I think of us as mediating conversations between a tree and a hawk and ISIS and a bench, and then we're the ones to make a decision about what the thing that all of those things were saying were. But that takes a claiming, and that takes a responsibility, and it takes an accountability. And so I feel like there's something that we're learning to do together where it just makes us more able to walk as prayers for not each other, but like for the future, for other species that haven't been here yet, and for species that are here and might die, and for like, so there's this way, like if we want to help anybody, we kind of got to just be like, yeah, I'll pick this up.
Yeah.
And like nobody's going to tell me how to do it because I'm the one.
Yeah.
That's why I have a human body. Like I have a human body so that I can use this, feel this, hear this, and like that's my job. And so let me teach these other people with human bodies how to be leaders, and then we have a lot of shit to do.
I don't think there's a teaching, honestly. I feel like it's just
claiming.
So first of all, I want to close it now, and I want to close it with I think we become both aware that we want to be in a relationship that is both, they're leaders, we're both leaders, and now it's about learning how and who leads, and that's when it becomes tricky. It's like the dance, that it's natural, that it's with the mystery. And I think it is really not in the head. Like the moment I get in the head, like that's where there's question. Otherwise, I feel like it's really very much in the body, and we will know when it's you and when it's me and when it's us and when it's somebody else. And then I want to also say this piece that I was saying at the beginning. I do feel like this importance of everybody claiming a leadership, and then learning as a collective how to not give away power, but how to like follow somebody when they need to lead, but then also when to claim the leadership. Because I think at times we intuitively know that we have the answer, but we will remain silent and we will give away our power because this is how we've conditioned and we've learned. And there is this fear of responsibility, and and it is easier to be led, to not, to claim your power.
Yes,
once you claim your power, the responsibility comes in, the healthy power.
And then you're a good follower, by the way.
Yeah.
Once you've claimed your power, and then you're like, oh my God, it feels so good to follow somebody. That maybe is what you get from me sometimes too. I'm just like, I don't want to. So that part's exists too.
Thank you, love. Thank you for trusting this. You were gonna stop it, I know.
Yeah, I was like, abandon ship.